It's a great day to be alive. Why? Not because the sun is still shining when I close my eyes, not because it's 32 degrees out, or 90 degrees for all you Fahrenheit folks. It's not because school is pretty much over and that means I will never have to write another English essay again in my life. All of those things are very good, especially the English one, but those are not the reasons why I'm so happy to be breathing oxygen and living this lovely life I've been given. It's a great day to be alive because Jon Pardi just announced his brand new album, Mr. Saturday Night, will be dropping on September 2nd. Now I know, it's a little far away. I really would have liked to had this thing in time for the summer because songs like Filler Up really just make me want to go out and have fun, but beggars can't be choosers. The important thing is there is a concrete date, there is an album cover, word on the street is there's going to be 14 tracks. The album is official. We officially have a new full-length Jon Pardi album to look forward to, and that's what I'm going to discuss over these next few minutes. It's been a while since the last Jon Pardi album. By the time Mr. Saturday Night comes out, it will be almost exactly 3 years since Heartache Medication, September 2019 to September 2022, which as far as album cycles go isn't ridiculously long. I mean, look at Luke Combs. What You See Is What You Get came out right around Heartache Medication, and Now Growing Up is set to drop next Friday, and Luke didn't lose any steam in the process. Morgan Wallen took 3 years in between his albums. It's a pretty common hiatus, especially for someone with a fan base, a following like Jon Pardi. He can afford to take some time off and the people will still be there. He's established himself as much more than just a neo-traditional fad or a trendy face. He's pretty well cemented as someone who can really move the needle in the mainstream. I guess it just feels like it's been longer than 3 years since Heartache Medication. Needless to say, a lot has changed since September of 2019. I also think one of the reasons it feels like it's been so long is because I've been tirelessly waiting since Heartache Medication came out. I find with some artists, sometimes time passes without me even realizing, and I'm like, oh dang, it's been almost 2 years since Hardy put out a rock. That's crazy. I wouldn't mind some new Hardy music, but then I just forget again and go back to living my life. But Jon Pardi is not one of those people. It truly feels like it has been as long as it has since Heartache Medication, and then some. I remember listening to Heartache Medication and already getting excited for the next album. I was already ready for the next chapter, not because I was let down by the album or I wasn't content with what I got. I was just like, okay, this album is incredible, and if he dropped another one in 3 days, I would welcome it with open arms. My point is, I am ready. I have been ready. I will be ready. I am so ready. I think another reason I'm so excited is because beyond the objective quality of his albums, Jon makes albums that stick. Albums that once they land, they don't really move. They hang around. I'm going to try and explain this and hopefully it makes sense. I don't know if any of you guys are like this, but one thing I've noticed about myself and my listening habits is when I'm feeling like a certain artist, I often go for their most recent output. For example, although I adore pretty much everything Cody Johnson has ever put out, if I'm feeling like Cody Johnson, I subconsciously go straight to Human. And before Human came out, I would just go to Ain't Nothing to It. It's no shade to the quality of any of the albums. I think Ain't Nothing to It is phenomenal, and I've never shied away from pointing that out. It's just the albums hit differently when they're not new anymore. If I had to guess, I think it has something to do with the way music is tied to memories. Obviously, I'm speaking for myself right now, you might feel completely different, but at least for me, different albums and songs can really get attached to specific periods of time or seasons in my life, and then later, listening back, they will bring me back to that time. So when a new album comes out, without me noticing, it begins latching onto the present season while I'm listening to it the most, but then when that artist drops a new album, it's like a definitive end to that previous record's life. The album's life began when it first released, you made your memories with it, it had its time in your rotation, and then it ends when the new album comes out, and then you begin that cycle again with the new album. But then for me, when I go back to an album that isn't an artist's most recent, I'm brought back to the times that album played a significant role in. It no longer feels like the present. The meaning of the album is what it meant to me during its lifespan, if that makes any sense. Until a new album comes out, my relationship with an album can evolve and does evolve. The meaning can and does change and develop, but I find as soon as a new record comes out, the story of the previous album is done being written, and it's put on a shelf, and I will choose to go back to it whenever I want, be it often or sparsely. It's why an album like Blonde, to me personally, can feel more current, fresh, and appropriate for feeling in the present than an album like Sunday Drive by Brett Eldredge. Both are records I found at similar times and adore for similar reasons despite the obvious musical differences, but with Songs About You releasing in like 5 hours, Sunday Drive now feels like more of a time capsule holding the memories of summer 2020 to spring 2022, whereas when you look at Blonde, I'm still making memories with that album. Its meaning to me personally is always evolving, and at Frank Ocean's pace, maybe the meaning of Blonde will continue to evolve until I die because homie just does not seem interested in releasing music. Now you're probably wondering, Evan, what does your sentimental attachment to Frank Ocean and Brett Eldredge have to do with your excitement for a Jon Pardi album? Great question. It's because Jon Pardi's albums to me are timeless. Although certain songs may remind me of certain times more than others, they don't feel bound to the memories of those times. If you put on a banger like In Love by Now by Riley Green or Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen, I'm gonna be in my zone. I'm gonna be bopping along, but it's gonna feel like 2019 again. I'm gonna be like, we're throwing it back a little bit, I mess with that. However, in comparison, if you throw on Head Over Boots or Tequila Little Time, I'm gonna be vibing like it's June 2022. It's not that those songs and albums aren't tied to memories. It's not like they didn't connect with me enough when they came out. It's just there's something about them that lasts longer than the time they came out. Something keeps them feeling fresh no matter how long it's been. It's not a testament to the quality of the music, which also isn't a diss to the quality. There's just elements of Jon Pardi's albums that I can't explain that just make them so timeless to me. So although I'm not putting crazy expectations on this album, I know what Jon's capable of. And I know how his last 2 albums aged, so I have reason to believe and faith that he can pull through and do it again. But that's enough psychological talk. I'm done trying to pull apart my brain and understand myself because I never will. Time to just breeze through some other details I wanted to discuss. First off, as I said near the beginning of the video, I've heard the track list is 14 songs, which includes Last Night Lonely and Fill Her Up. I can't confirm that yet, I just kind of sat down and started talking, but if 14 is the correct number, I think that's perfect. It's the same length as Heartache Medication. I like 14 songs from Jon Pardi. I don't think it's too much. I think once you cross that 15 line, it begins getting a little intimidating, a little ambitious, but 14 is a sweet spot of beefy but not fat. It's like the difference between a buff dude and a bodybuilder. The buff dude has a lot. Nobody's acting like he couldn't lift some serious metal. There's a lot there, but not too much. But the bodybuilder, this is too much. Nobody wants this. This is nobody's type. I'm sorry if this is you, but every girl I've ever met has said there is a point where it becomes too much and it is no longer attractive. And the same exact principles apply to the length of country music albums. This is the fantastic analysis I know all of you are subscribed for, so you're welcome. You will not get these brilliant, scholar-esque analogies anywhere else. On the production side, it looks like Jon stuck with the same team that's developed his sound over the last few records, and I think that's an amazing choice. You can also hear it pretty evidently on the 2 pre-releases, more specifically Fill Her Up, which that song is exactly why I love Jon Pardi. It's fun, it's goofy but not stupid, it's unapologetically country and western, it's a little out in left field, like nobody else in the mainstream would make Fill Her Up. It's true to Jon Pardi, and that's what I love about it. He always steers his own ship, whether the sound he's making is trending or not. He's gonna make the music he likes, and I think that's one of his most admirable traits. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to touch on today. Nothing too in-depth or fancy. I'm just really excited for this Jon Pardi album, so I figured why not hop on and vent it for you guys to hear. As always, let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this announcement. How excited are you? What are your early predictions? Anything at all, just drop it down below. I'd love to get some conversation going with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like. It really does help the channel out. If you're new and like what you see, be sure to subscribe for more country music content. Links to my Instagram, Discord, and podcast are all down below in the description. New podcast content is coming your way ASAP. There were some scheduling conflicts, so we had to take a week off, but it won't be long at all until you hear from Jaron and I again. And yeah, I think I've said everything, so until next time, I hope y'all have a great day.